I declare to you that a woman must not depend on the protection of a man, but must be taught to protect herself. And there I make my stand. This was Susan B. Anthony. Susan was born in 1820, at a time when men and women were not treated equally. Women were not allowed to own property, vote, or even wear pants at the time. Susan, though, was born into a Quaker family. The Quaker religion taught that all men and all women were equal before the eyes of the Lord. And therefore, in her family, that was a teaching that they were to be treated equally as well. Very early on, Susan learned that the boys in school were taught different lessons than the girls. And the more important lessons, the boys would be pulled aside, and the girls would be doing different household lessons. When she brought this up with her father, he decided to set up a classroom at their house. And in that classroom, her and her siblings, both boys and girls, would be taught equally. Because of this young education at a young age, which was not normal at the time, she actually moved up and began teaching by age 15. She learned very early that women were also not paid equally. She made much less than her predecessor because of the fact that she was a woman and her predecessor was a man. But she was good at teaching, excuse me, and she moved up to when she was a headmistress. She was a headmistress by age 26. At that job, she actually got out of the Quaker religion a bit and got to see a little bit more of the world. And this is where she started to learn about the women's suffrage movement. Her first movement that she was involved in, though, was abolitionist. By age 17, she was involved in the abolitionist movement. She actually started the first women's national activism organization. And they were an abolitionist group, which was anti-slavery. And what they did was, one of the first things they did was collected signatures against slavery. They collected over 400,000 signatures, which was the most at the time. The group, though, after the Civil War, was disbanded because they had reached their goal and ended slavery in the United States. Susan, though, did not end her goals. She moved up and started being more heavy in the abolitionist groups. She actually started the National Women's Suffrage Association, and she also, with her friend Elizabeth Stanton, started the paper, The Revolution. The main thing she did, though, was she gave speeches. Susan went around the country and gave 75 to 100 speeches per year, which was quite a grueling schedule at the time. She became known throughout the country for connected to the women's suffrage movement, so much so that at age 80, the president, William McKinley, actually invited her to the White House to celebrate her birthday. And in 1878, she brought to Congress an amendment to the Constitution to give women the right to vote. At the time, it did not move forward much, but she continued to speak on the matter. And then, in 1906, unfortunately, Susan died. The movement did not die with her, though. In 1920, the 19th Amendment was finally brought to fruition, and it was passed. Although it was after her passing, she gives us a great example to show us that if we have a cause and we work hard for it, although we may not always see the fruits of our labor, our children and our grandchildren will be grateful for all the hard work we've done and the society that they've inherited. Thank you.